Hello, it's me again. Another random sharing on KL React here. So today I want to share about accessibility. So accessibility is something I think is important, and personally is also very important for me because it makes make me feel like my work as a software engineer is meaningful. So yeah, I hope like if you're a software engineer, or you're someone working in the IT field, I hope that this sharing would help you understand why accessibility is important, and also by knowing it, how you can make your work more meaningful by making this world a better place. So yeah, let's get started. Yeah, but before that, this sharing actually I shared once in my previous job before. So this is more like a recycle talk, but this is just casual sharing, so I didn't prepare much. But yeah, I think there's not much content I would like to change anyway. So what I want to cover in this sharing, there are four main things I want to share. What is accessibility? Why accessibility? And also after that, I want to share with you like actually how disabled people use software, and lastly, what can you do, especially you're working in an IT field, regardless if you're a software engineer or you're just a project manager or you're a tester. I feel accessibility is something that you can contribute to. So, what is software accessibility? So, accessibility, by the definition, is a qualities that make something uh, open to all. Okay, and then people also use accessibility to mean discipline to achieve number one. So accessibility is the quality as well as professional discipline. So it's a bit abstract. No worries, we'll go through that. So so uh, so you see, it's open to all. What do we mean by something that's not open to all? uh you can imagine like, hey, I have a video, okay, uh then you share a video. So the experience of sharing this video, you will feel like it's on internet, everyone can access it, so it's something is open to all. But you need to be aware that, hey, actually it is not. First of all, it's not open to people with bad internet, right? Also, it's also not open to people with uh which is blind, they can't see a video. It also may not be open to all who cannot hear. So yeah, accessibility, you may think that putting something on internet, or you build a website and put it on internet is making accessible, but the truth is not. Okay, it takes extra discipline and extra effort to make something uh, open to all. And yeah, later I'll share with you like what you can do. Okay, it sounds, now I try to sound dramatic, but actually it is hard, but it is not something that you need to take a lot of effort to actually improve. Actually, doing a little actually can achieve a lot improvement on accessibility. So first, a reason you may why, hey, this accessibility like nobody care, right? So why I want to share about this? So one reason, uh, if you're working for a US company, is a non-accessible website or software is actually against the law. Okay, but yeah, so Domino gets sued because of that. But you probably not working for a US company, so I guess this is not something you really care. But the next reason is is important because it's the right thing to do. Okay, so I want to share with you a video that I think is very meaningful. It touched me personally. Actually, yeah. So let's roll the video lah. I hope you like it.
My name is Grover.
John. My name is Ian.
I'm Taylor.
My name is Owen, and I am 9.5 years old.
I only have one.
And yeah.
I love video games, my friends, my family, and again video games.
Whenever I play it, it makes me feel happy.
The fun that you get to have with connecting with your friends.
You make your own rules?
It's his way of interacting with his friends when he can't physically otherwise do it.
When I'm playing with a regular controller, there's some things that don't work for me.
It's difficult for me to use both joysticks and the D-pad at the exact same time.
And it just slowed me down a bunch more, while other people were like...
She's never had the freedom to play at the level she knows she could.
I never thought it was unfair. I just thought, hey, this is the way it is and it's not going to change.
What I like about the adaptive controller is that now everyone can play.
I don't even have to look at the controller and just be like looking at the screen like, hey, yep.
You never want your kid to feel like an outsider or an other.
One of the biggest fears early on is, how will Owen be viewed by the other kids?
He's not different when he plays.
It's a little challenging, but that's the whole point of gaming.
I can hit the buttons just as fast as they can.
And I think I can crush my friends.
No matter how your body is or how fast you are, you can play. It's a really good thing to have in this world.
My name is...
Okay. So yeah. It's actually a advertisement of a Microsoft controller. So yeah, but I'm not trying to make advertisement for Microsoft. It's just a video that actually touched me a lot. So yeah, I feel that why is accessibility is important. If you watch the video just now and you feel like the controller actually make a difference to those kids and making their life more meaningful, and you would know that, hey, this is something we should strive for in our software. So yeah, so that's why accessibility is important, because it's the right thing to do. It is the way us as a software engineer or IT professional to make people that are disabled a more equals, right? To the information that we have, to the fun that we have. So yeah, so what to really understand, to help people, those people, first we need to understand like what, when we say disabled, what does it mean? So there are many types of disabilities. So here you can see disabilities. We can look at it from different senses. Like they may have touch, see, hear, and speak. So we can based on the sense to categorize disabilities. We also can look at disability from how long the disability lasts. So some disability is permanent. Like for some people, like they are blind, they cannot see permanently. But actually sometimes it is temporary. For example, people that have injury, then their touch is temporarily disabled. But of course, the last we have situational, which is, for example, people they are working busy, then they also kind of like disabled. So yeah, there are many type of disabilities. But the thing about accessibility, to help people that are disabled, you do not really need to like think of every single disability in this picture, because the whole idea of accessibility is we aims to solve for one, then it will extend to many. So what does it mean? So you can imagine, like, let's say you are helping people that are that have problem understanding English, right? they look at English videos, they don't understand what people are talking about. So you add subtitles. Okay, subtitles is one of the way or increase accessibilities. So, but by solving this problem for those people that cannot hear or cannot hear, you just show subtitle to them. You're also helping people that cannot understand the language. You're also helping people that have like learning disabilities, so they can just read the text. So yeah, similarly, you are let's say you are making your website to be the color contrast is better. Okay, so you are helping people with colorblind. But in the meantime, you're also helping people like maybe people that's older, which their eyes no longer so good. So yeah, the whole idea of accessibility is you aims to solve for the one that you think is disabled. They technically they can't really use your website or software, and you aim to help those extreme case, and you're helping everyone else between the extreme case and the so-called like the healthy, the majority like you and me. So now we aim to solve the problem for the most extreme case, so we can help everyone. So now the next question will be, how is the extreme case people, how they use software? So this is the next part I'm going to share with you. So how disabled people use software? The first thing is very straightforward. They use keyboard. Okay, you may feel like, hey, what? Yeah, use keyboard. Everyone use keyboard, but you know, many times people use keyboard is a combination of keyboard and mouse, right? You have a website, then you move your mouse, point to things, and you click here, you click there. But for some people, they have their hand has moving difficulty. They can only like tap through your website using the keyboard. So the question is your website able to use by only using keyboard? Okay, so yeah, so this is something that actually as a software engineer you can actually easily advertise. Like we software engineer, we always like to like everything in keyboard, right? You like to learn shortcut key everything, but to the software you build, sometimes we just forget. We are like, I'm just going to use mouse, click here, click there. But actually, how we should test our software, we should also use keyboard, right? Try to tap through your website and see whether people that cannot use mouse can they use your website. I will take an example lah. Okay, so let us go visit, for example, our government. Malaysia government has very bad website. Let's say HRDF. Okay, so let's go to HRDF website. So now I come to this website. Okay, so if you use mouse, you will know to point to use your mouse to move and explore. So if you don't have, you cannot use mouse, what would you use? You use the tab. Okay, do you see anything happening? Okay, I also don't see anything happening. Why? Because all the links here, right? You know, they only respond to mouse hover. They don't have a focus style. By default, actually, browser try to be helpful. When you hover, when you focus things, right? Browser will show you the focus string. Yeah, but you know, it's kind of ugly. So the designer complains, and so the developer remove the focus ring, but they never replace it with something that we can use. So you see, this website actually, you see, I tap many times, it suddenly come to this. I actually don't know how to use this website with only keyboard. So yeah, this is very bad. What is a good example? Okay, for example, a good example would be, let's say, let's see, I'll use Facebook. So I open Facebook, then let me tap. So do you see that? So I can see very clearly which is the current focus of this tab. So actually we can easily like people only use keyboard. It is not as straightforward as we can straight away go use mouse, but at least you see it's usable. So yeah, this is a good example. Okay, another example, let's say I remember another one is New York Times. Okay. So you see, New York Times, I can use keyboard to actually navigate their website. You tap, and I enter. Then you go to the website. Okay. You see, I tap. So yeah, this is another example. So you see, New York Times actually has something very nice, which is when I tap through, right, you see they actually skip the content. When I enter, then straight away it go to the content place. So yeah, New York Times is a very a good example of good accessibility, because they think of people, the keyboard user. So knowing this, right? So next time when you develop your website, you should also like think about how people can use your software by only using keyboard. And one of the bonus point of that, right, is when you're writing and developing your website, it will make your life as a software engineer easier, because you no need to type some code and then you need to move your mouse and click here, click there. You can just use a keyboard. So yeah, the first thing is use a keyboard. Think of the keyboard user. The next one is this is blind people. They're listening to the screen reader. So screen reader is a special software where they also tap through the website, but when they tap through, this software will actually read the content to them. Okay. So to cater for those users, first of all, just now we mentioned we need to use the tab. Make sure our website is good for keyboard user. Another thing is we always know, like, hey, image tag should add alternate text. Okay, because for those people, if you don't add alternate text, right, the screen reader don't know how to read to them. Yeah. Then third one, this is people that their hand cannot use. They cannot use keyboard. They cannot use mouse. So what? So they use this. Okay. So this is mistaken. It's called a mouse stick, where they use their mouth to hold one stick, and then they use that to touch. Okay. They move their head to touch the screen. So considering this user, then you understand, right, why people always say the small fancy button that your designer come out is actually not accessible, because the small button is very easy to point to and click if you're using mouse. But think for those people, they are moving their head to just point to one thing, and you're making the target so small. You're making the life very hard for them. So yeah, think of those people. So yeah, what can you do as a software engineer? So first, you can use accessible components, which is we like to use like components library, like Material UI. Another one example is InDesign. So when we evaluate the components to use, try to check how accessible is them. So here I want to bitch a bit about InDesign. So InDesign is a very good UI components, and it is very popular. But one of the biggest problem of InDesign is their accessibility is very, very bad compared to other UI components. Okay, the reason being, I think it's a more economical reason, because in many components library is built by US, is driven by mostly US software engineer. And as you know, in the beginning, in US, accessibility actually can cause business impact. That's why they put priority on that. InDesign, it is come from this software engineering team from China, which their accessibility awareness is not that high. So yeah, don't use InDesign if you can choose not to lah. Okay. So use things like Rich UI or RealKit. So those components they are really like accessibility is their selling point. So use those. Okay. Then the next thing what you can do as a software front-end engineer is you use correct HTML. Okay. You may feel like, hey, I mean, especially when you're new, you will feel like, hey, as long as you make the things looks like and feel like how the designer want it to be, then your job is done. Okay, that's why we see a very common things that people like to do is the designer want a button, but the default button of a website is kind of ugly, and you need to write a lot of CSS to override it. So what they do is they just use a div, because div don't have default style, which is very, very wrong. Because using a div, right, you may feel like, hey, I need to add an on-click handle, then everything is fine. But button is not just on-click. You know, button, it can handle enter button, and people press enter, it works. Is your div works? You never think of that. You probably never think of that, because when I first doing front end, I also never think of that. So yeah, you may start thinking of how, okay, I need to add those add the listeners. But for me, the easiest way is just to use the correct HTML tag, and yeah, probably it will handle nice for you. And also by tagging it correct, using a correct tag, all the screen reader, all the tools that helping disabled people, they will actually know what to do. If you use div, then you need to tell them, you need to assign a role to tell them this is a button or those things, which is I feel like it's not worth the hassle. And then another thing you can do is you automate the accessibility checking. So there are a few libraries out there that can help you lah. For example, Create React by default it add ESTing plugin JSX which actually do checking for you when you write JSX. And then if you're using Cypress also have a Cypress X, which actually help you to audit your site accessibility automatically. And then yeah, as I said previously, when you develop your website, that's with keyboard. Use keyboard to navigate and feel how painful it is, and see if your links and button have correct focus style or not. Your user will thank you. You know, disabled people will thank you. You're doing something meaningful, and you earn good karma. So now the last part. Okay, so I'm not sure whether I convince you or not about the accessibility, but you may have a final say, right? You say, hey, my manager and PO say this is not important. Just get the things done. And yeah, I don't get their approval. So I want to share with you about one article that I read, which I very agree. So it says a programmer, we are professionals, so we make our own decisions. For examples, when you edit a file, do you go to get your manager approval? No. Okay. When you name your variables, do you go to the manager? No. You add unit tests, do you get the manager? No. You just do it, right? Because this is the right thing to do. And you are a professional, you should be able to judge. Things like refactor to microservices, rewrite everything in another language, those things, well, you probably should get your manager approval before you simply go do it. But there are many things in gray area, right? So I feel like accessibility is one of those. Some people may think it's a gray area that they need to get manager approval, but for me, I think it is something that on the left. It is something that's so small that you can just do it. How hard is it for you? Let me ask you, how hard is it for you to add a focus string on the button? it won't take you a few days, right? You just need to test, then you probably add 1 or 2 CSS rules, then it just work. And your manager wouldn't know that you actually pay like the extra half an hour to make things accessible. They are not going to know. And for you, this is the right thing to do. As a professional, you should be able to judge. You do things. It's like your manager say you want the fastest way to do things, but you won't simply copy paste all the code so that it just works, right? You sometimes you spend time refactor things, put things out. Do the same thing for accessibility. For me, accessibility is more important than dry. Don't repeat yourself on those things, because this is something that actually impacts people's life experience, and I think you should just do it. So yeah, where to learn more? There are actually a lot materials online. Here is link. Later I will share. I will share the link. The link of this slide in the comments. And also Microsoft have a very good inclusive design sites, which actually there are a lot meaningful video that I shared just now. So I think you should go learn that. And I think that's all. So that's all for today, my random sharing. So yeah, seems like today there's no audience, but it's fine. Okay, bye-bye.